Well, welcome back, people, to the Martian Tomato Podcast. I am Brennan, also known as Tomato,
And I am Marley or Mars Bars.
and we're back. We're kind of have a decent schedule for once, so that's
Yeah,
always
somewhat
good.
consistent at least.
Someone's consistent,
Yeah.
so that's always good. That is always good.
Yeah, and before we start, make sure you go check out our Instagram account. That'll be at the Galactic Arrowverse Hub. Link will be in the description down below. Just posted. I know I kind of been backed up lately. As some stuff I had to deal with, but yeah, just posted the three reviews for what was it? Black Lightning, Superman and
Superman
Lois, and
and
Flash.
Flash.
And we'll be discussing them here in our podcast. But I did do somewhat of a review. I honestly, to be completely honest with you guys here, I don't think I did a good job on the reviews just because I kind of rushed them. Like I really just want to get them out before Batwoman tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, hopefully next week I'll be back on track. Just a lot of stuff I had to deal with, work, and then other personal stuff as well. But yeah, I'm back now, and yeah, I guess we'll jump right into it. Black Lightning, I guess was the first episode of the
Hmm.
first DC TV episode for this week. So, Brennan, you want
Yep.
to take us away?
So Black Lightning, so far, I've been really enjoying it. I consider it to be very similar to Superman and Lois, which because it's more like kind of family based, if that makes sense. I think
Yeah,
it's more focused on like the family type stuff more than the like fighting people and whatnot
right.
and
Yeah,
all that cool stuff. Like this show, I think it's hard. I don't know how I feel about this show yet. I have been enjoying it, but I don't know if it's better than last season
yeah. So I
so
think last
far.
season was really good. Even like I think every episode arc was really good. Um,
Yeah.
I think like so far it's decent. It's better than seasons 1 and 2. Well, there's a lot
Yes.
more going on in seasons than seasons 1 and 2, but
Yeah,
this
I agree with
I'm
you
not
on
sure.
that.
This so far it's a little bit middle of the pack. I mean it's pretty good. I think the show is good, but like compared to other Arrowverse
Hmm.
seasons, it's a little bit middle of the pack. It's not as like
Yeah.
outstanding as season 3, but then again, the season hasn't finished yet. But
Yeah.
I guess I think I mentioned this in my reviews. The best part of the first episode arc were the therapy scenes. I think because it was very
Yeah.
character driven, right? Like it was not a lot of like action going on. It's not like with Arrow where there's a lot of like basically every episode you're expected to see some sort of action sequence. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so far this season's more character driven, which I actually really like. Um, but yeah, I think
Hmm.
everything else is just all right. A little bit too flat though, but it's all right. But this episode here is the first episode of the new of well, I guess the first episode of a new arc, or yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's all right. I think the biggest takeaway was probably the recasting, but I guess we'll get to that
Yeah.
later. Everything else
Yeah.
is all right. Did you have any thoughts on that, Brendan?
Like this episode was decent, I will admit. Like I'm assuming Black Lightning's back now from now on. So we'll have to see what they're trying to do, obviously, to take down what's his face? Why I forget his
Tobias
name.
Whale.
Tobias Whale, and do all that type of thing. Like, and I thought it was funny that they brought up the Flash kind of thing. I thought that was kind of funny that they needed a thing, and he said it'll be healing the Flash. I don't know what part of like
Yeah.
I don't know what timeline that was a part
Well,
of when it comes to that.
it was a reference. It was like, oh, he'll be here in a flash. It's like I
Yeah,
have a friend. He can help us out. He'll be in here in a flash. That was the line. I think something like that.
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
good that it incorporated the Arrowverse because for so long it
Hmm.
was so distant. It was like its own separate thing. And again, like all of this would have been really cool if this wasn't the final season. But I mean,
Yeah,
I guess they're ending the show after the season. So yeah, a little bit weird timing to introduce this. Well,
yeah,
like not. I mean, obviously, Black Lightning is now officially in the Arrowverse, but it's like a little bit weird
yeah,
timing to do it right. Before the
yeah.
season ends. But yeah, I guess that was pretty cool. But yeah, the biggest
Yeah,
takeaway definitely was the recasting.
yeah,
I guess we can just kind of go in a bit theorizing here. I'm not a huge fan of
yeah,
theorizing, but I guess like I think a lot of people's theory is that maybe Jennifer she aged like while she was up
yeah.
there. Like yeah, she probably
She like
aged
aged.
or something like that because like I think there's the actress wanted to leave. China
Hmm.
McClain, she wanted to leave the show. She was want to go into some of her own things as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, what were your thoughts on that actually?
like I totally forgot they were recasting, so I'm like, what the heck? Why does she look clapped? And that type of thing. I was super confused, but then I looked it up and realized she wanted to leave. And like, it's kind of weird at this point now because like the police pretty much in this show made her name's Lightning, right?
Yeah,
Or her
Lightning.
superior name was Lightning. Was
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, she's priority number one. Now she looks different. Is she gonna have a different suit? Is she just
I
gonna be the
actually didn't
same?
thought about
Or
that. Actually, I haven't thought about that. Yeah, that actually might change that storyline. Well, it was
yeah,
probably be like, oh, it's Lightning, but she's gonna look different. Obviously, it's like with Batwoman.
yeah,
Obviously, Batwoman looks a lot different than what she did last season. So, uh, like I don't know how that's gonna play into the whole gang war that's gonna come up or stuff like that. Honestly,
hmm,
hope they'll build up and the payoff is really good. Because
yeah,
this
and
seems to be another kind of big event like the Markovian War.
yeah, and like also, I'm curious to see like in the painkiller spinoff is I was guessing that Lightning was going to be in at least one because they were like kind of dating sort of thing, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I thought she would be in one of the episodes, but now like if she's wants to do her own thing, like is this older version gonna go talk to him? I don't know. Obviously, like we'll just have to see in the future and whatnot. Like I really don't know. It's well, I guess I just don't understand. Couldn't she just finish off the season and then like
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
not.
his
I mean,
last
if you could,
season?
like again, like I said, all this is like the timing and everything is weird because it's like they're doing this
Yeah.
on the final season, and then there's going to be a potential spinoff. The season we still has to pick it up, but yeah, there's still going
Hmm.
to be a potential spinoff. So it's like, I mean, maybe this like maybe Jennifer should probably like go after painkiller stuff like that. Who knows? But like
Yeah.
I mean, I assume this is probably because like it's weird to have a recast. Like if like in the final season, if you're gonna recast someone, you might as well just write them out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why wouldn't you just write her
S-
out, just let her die?
So yeah,
Like you could just easily let her die.
I'm assuming that like she's probably gonna be in the new show. Either that, well, because
Yeah.
actually, I know some characters. Like I think Grace might be in the new show too. There was it was like I think a picture and it had like the painkiller spin-off cast and it had like the
Hmm.
actress for Grace Choi, so it's like okay, I think she's gonna be in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, this entire situation, I mean, it kind of sucks, especially for since it's the final season. But I mean, it,
Yeah.
I mean, we never know, we never really know how it'll turn out. Um, Again, I'm
Yeah.
assuming if they're just gonna recast a character that's not really gonna get a lot of screen time, I'm pretty sure they're gonna save it for later. That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing. Like again, you don't just do recast just out of nowhere just because you have to do it for a specific
Yeah, that's
reason.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I consider that weird. Um, question for you, Marley. Out of Black Lightning and Batwoman, which one have you liked better so far? Because for me,
Um,
it's kind of close.
I'm probably Black Lightning. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure. I
understand
don't
that.
know. I need more Batwoman to really make a decision on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point. Like this show wasn't this episode. I mean, wasn't phenomenal, but I've been enjoying watching Batwoman and Black Lightning. I consider them to be kind of like the two going up against each other and whatnot. Well, not like in that sense. Like most people like view count wise, I believe Black Lightning and Batwoman are at the bottom,
Yeah.
like between those two.
Well, Black
So
Lightning's getting it's slowly building up there, but I don't think it's obviously not as much as say the Flash or Superman Lois. Actually, Superman Lois gets the most viewership right now. I think the Flash
yeah,
is around like 900,000, somewhere around there, and then
yeah,
Superman Lois is around like 1.3 million, somewhere around there. So
yeah, yeah. But this episode was okay. Like no real complaints about it. Like it was kind of a weird episode for me. It was
Yeah.
kind of weird, but it was an okay episode. It wasn't the worst. I've seen a lot worse
Yeah.
of this show, so can't really complain about it.
Yeah, and it's weird that how Black Lightning kind of progresses like this really like boring show to like something that has a lot of like suspense. It's kind of like a mini thriller in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of
I
like
get
a
what
little
you're saying.
thriller type of show, and I like that. I like that. You
Yeah,
know, it kind of has the similar beats to Arrow and stuff like that. I just wish that the show
yeah,
wasn't ending, but I guess we'll see how
yeah,
well that'll do in the Painkiller spinoff.
yeah. I feel like this show got way too much hate in the first two
Well, I
seasons,
think the first two
and
seasons killed the show, and then season three
yeah,
like was really good, but it was too little, too late. And now because of low
yeah,
viewership and low ratings, it's ending after the season.
yeah. And I would also like. I'm just curious to see what their goal between Thunder and Grace. Like, what's their like? I'm confused between those two because they're married now, and obviously, I don't think Thunder's parents, like Black Lightning and whatnot, know that they're married. Like,
No, I thought they
does Grace
do.
still have her?
They had that type of like
They do
little.
what?
I thought they had that little type of marriage type of thing last season.
Yeah, yeah, they did, but I don't know if their parents know if they're because they're married now,
Well, yeah,
and I
no,
don't
I think
know
they
if.
know. They invited their parents. They had like that little wedding at their apartment or stuff like that. He brought like
Oh,
all their friends and
well,
stuff. Yeah.
oh, I totally forget that. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that because Grace, does she still have powers, or do we not know?
No, she still has powers. Yeah.
Yeah, but she just hasn't been using them. She's just been kind of been staying in the apartment and whatnot, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, we did see it in the last episode or last week's episode. With her because she
Yeah.
can shapeshift. She shape shifted into I can't remember what it was, but it was like yeah, she had like her own suit and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about that. Wow, I had a brain fart. Never mind.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm curious to see like they're still like kind of like their walls up, like they said in the latest episode. They kind of still have their walls after Grace obviously went into a coma and all that jazz. So
Yeah.
eventually, I feel like those two. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
really don't know.
the drama between those two is a little weird. I didn't really care too much about it,
Yeah,
but yeah. Other than
yeah,
I
fair
think the most
enough.
interesting character of the show or the characters in the show probably are Jefferson, Gamby, and Jennifer. I think those are really the only characters that or actually Lynn's character is pretty cool
Yeah, I
too.
was about to say I'm curious to see what Lynn does. Like, is she keep taking her superpower steroid stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Speaking of
not much else to say.
superpower steroid type of thing, let's move into the Flash. It
Hmm.
was a really interesting episode. I remember. I think reason why I
I
made that
really
into
enjoyed
this,
this
yeah,
episode.
reason why I made that into like a segue is because, again, spoilers here. I mean, I think you guys should know this by now. We talk about spoilers. But yeah, Flash Frost. We'll get to that later. But that was interesting to see.
Mhm.
Frost
Yeah, that was
taking
really
the
cool.
Velocity X. I think that was pretty
Yeah,
cool. But yeah, this episode was really interesting.
yeah.
I think it would be good. I mean, it's a good episode. It's just I don't think it would be great
Hmm.
as like the second last episode in this entire storyline with the mirror
Hmm.
mistress and all that stuff. But I did like it. I think it was very
Yeah,
cool. I think it was a really good episode. I think I might be.
yeah. I thought it was.
I can't remember what I said in my review. I wrote it a couple days ago, but I think I might have been a bit too harsh
Yeah,
on it. But yeah, it's still a good episode.
yeah, yeah. It was a really good episode. I liked. I didn't. It was weird because his ability was he just saw the future.
No, well,
He didn't become smart.
he's speed thinking, and yeah, he also could perceive things that like you can perceive things before it happens. So yeah, I guess it is kind of seen through the future. But yeah, he also could. Well, it's just super extreme intelligence. Extreme. He could able to like run numerous simulations in his head. He's smarter than AI. So like
Hmm.
he's like I think the Flash was kind of like that in the comics too. He actually was able to like perceive events at like
Yeah,
extreme fast. Yeah, but yeah, it was really interesting to see. I again, I thought the drama here was pretty cool. I did like how
Yeah.
like we see the negative effects of the artificial speed force. I'm curious to see what they'll do with that now, considering the fact that the artificial speed force is
Yeah.
destroyed. Which that's it. One thing I didn't mention that in my review, but I didn't really like how it's
Yeah.
just destroyed now, even though Nashville's just sacrificed himself to create the artificial speed force. Hopefully, it's not completely
Yeah.
destroyed, and like
I don't.
yeah, if it's not like completely destroyed, and what they can do, maybe like you can salvage it to create a new Speed Force.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm also curious by this episode because obviously Barry was just kind of thinking about himself, kind of thing, because Iris is his wife, so we kind of brought Iris in,
Well, he didn't. He
and she.
said, well, from his perspective, like because like he was losing his emotion, so it was
Oh
all
yeah.
about like okay, like in terms of strategies, like he wasn't even thinking about like his like emotions anymore. He's just straight up like, yeah, logically speaking, she's the one we should save because she has knowledge on
Yeah.
Ava and all that stuff.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed. I'm enjoying the Flash so far. It's only been what, 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Like it's. I think it's so far. It's kind of like last season, but kind of thing. Like the first half was phenomenal. I really hope it doesn't do that again.
Well, with what
Um.
happened in the last 5 minutes of this episode with like,
Yeah.
with I guess our hell, I guess Earth One Harrison Wells coming back from the dead. I guess that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's like the other DC for here. Let me look it up. It's like the other DC forces are coming in. So I know there's the Still
Hmm.
Force and there's like other different forces. Like you know how there's the Speed Force and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but like that's actually really interesting to see. I'm curious. I mean, not a lot of okay, so yeah, this the seven forces of DC Universe. Um, oh no, okay, no. So yeah, there's the Still Force, there's the Life Force, um, and all that stuff. It's really interesting to see. I maybe this could like
Yeah.
maybe these other forces could like play a factor into I guess the rebirth of the Speed Force or something like that.
Yeah. I would, and I'm also. I think at this point Cisco needs to go.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but I just didn't like him in this episode. I just don't know why.
Hmm.
I just it's just his character needs to get written off. I get it; they have to keep him because technically his girlfriend's in the Mirrorverse and whatnot. But I hope when she comes back, either somehow by the end of the season, he needs to go, man. He needs to go. Like his story is done. His story has been done for a long time. Like looking like it's just done. Like Frost, on the other hand, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. Like she's tough because I'm pretty sure they said this season that she's gonna be looking for a love interest
Yeah, that
or
was
something like
she
that.
was gonna like I think it was like some super villain that was, she's gonna fall in love with or something like that.
Yeah, like something like that. Like I mean, Cisco in this episode was cool and whatnot, but I just don't know. Like Chester, I think at this point has to replace him. Like
Yeah, flush out the new
it's
guys.
just Cisco. Yeah, Cisco just needs to go. But like this episode was really good in many ways because like obviously Barry putting out in what was it in the world against the mirror person that she's pretty much actually dead, and then she was like freaking out and whatnot, and I thought that was really cool. But Barry just had no emotions, obviously, as we took and all that. Um, and also I would just like to say I've really been enjoying Eva's character
Hmm.
a lot more. I think she's like improving with each episode if I can talk properly. Like it's just I think this show I am hoping the show slowly improves, which at the moment it is.
Hmm.
We just have to see, man. Like I really don't want it to be like last season where I enjoyed it for the first half and then it just goes downhill.
Yeah. Well, I'm like I know we're only 2 episodes in, but like this is like already so much more like just interesting than like all of the second half of the
Yeah.
last season because it's like this her character is being fleshed out more and like
Mhm.
she's like because slowly becoming more compelling. Not really compelling, but like A
Yeah.
little bit more compelling than what she was last season. That's what I really like.
I think I think do I want to say I think she's the most I think she is I don't know if I'm saying this too quick, but I think she is the best non-speedster villain so far. That's just in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I
I know it's only been like 2 episodes,
I
but
did like I did like the Thinker or DeVoe. Like I it's kind of a love hate. I
did
because I want to like him, but I also really don't like how he had to like type of survive by going through different bodies and stuff like that. Like I wasn't really a huge fan of that.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I like his character. I just don't like his motivation. Actually, yeah, I don't really like his motivations. His motivations were a bit too cliche. But this one here, like I think again, like I said, I think if they just like fleshed, well, I said this in my review. If there was more screen time for this story arc rather than focusing on filler, maybe she would have been a bit more
Hmm.
compelling of a villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because her motivation is obviously destroying her husband's
Which she already
name
did that, but now she's like
and
she
whatnot. Yeah.
realizes like the truth that like she's actually the mirror duplicate, and it's like she's all alone. See, that's a good storyline if they had more time to develop.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, had more time to develop it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And I think we kind of talked about it, but the end of this episode has me intrigued.
Yeah,
Has me really, really, really intrigued. Like I'm super curious to see where they go from here. If that is that Evo Wells?
no, that's I
Do we
think
know
that's
that, or is it
like
just
Harrison Wells, but like when Eobard killed him and on Earth One, yeah,
yeah, yeah? So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do there. Like the first 2 episodes of the Flash has been phenomenal. I just hope they keep going down this way, keep doing what they're doing, and not drop off again. I really hope, and I'm curious to see now because obviously Iris is out of the
yeah,
Mirrorverse.
yeah.
Like,
They need to find a way to
yeah,
save
how are they going to get the other
save
two
the
now?
others in the Mirrorverse.
I'm ass- I'm assuming Cisco's girlfriend is going to be the one that's like kind of controlling it now since
Yeah.
Iris left, if I had to guess. But from what last we saw, for all we know, Iris could be dead, but I doubt she'll
Yeah, I
be dead.
highly doubt it. No, they're not
Obviously,
going to kill off a main character like that because she is a main character now. They're not going to
yeah,
kill off a main character like that. They
yeah,
tried that with Zoom or well,
I,
not Zoom, Savitar in season 3.
mm-hmm,
But that was an interesting story arc. But I don't think they're going to do that anymore. That they've already done
yeah.
it once. It's not really good to do it again.
I'm kind of hoping she goes into like a coma.
Yeah, well,
Like, you know what I mean? Like she goes in a
yeah,
coma
maybe.
or
Oh
something
well,
like
there
that.
are. I know there's new photos of the next episode. They're out on the internet, and yeah, Iris is like alive and well in there. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay. Oh, okay.
yeah,
So,
but I mean, I then again,
yeah,
it's not really
so cool, I
expected for her to
guess.
go into a coma because it's like, I mean, yeah, understandably so. If you got pulled out of a different dimension, yeah, maybe you know, yeah, go through all of that. But I just don't think that's the best idea because like they have a lot of characters that they need to handle. Like the writers need to handle a lot of characters.
Yeah.
They just, honestly they're not really doing a good job balancing them out. And like in this episode, they mentioned that
Hmm.
Chester's like at his grandma's or something like that. And it's like okay, that's a
Yeah.
funny, I guess, funny throwaway line, but like it just goes to show that the writers don't know how to handle all these characters. Like they need to let some go, like literally.
Yeah. Yeah. We have too many characters, and we didn't. And Wealth is his real name, but I don't know. Like, is he done? Is
Ralph,
he out?
well,
Is he or
there was
like?
rumors that like he's just gonna take the form of a different like because he can also kind of shapeshift too, right? Because like
To a
well
different
yeah,
actor or
like
something?
they're kind of gonna do like a bit of a recast, finish the character and or yeah, finish the character arc and that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They have too many characters to deal with because I think Cisco needs to go. Obviously, Ralph or whatever the new guy is needs to go. Um, I'm still. I think Frost has to stay for a little bit longer. I don't see her leaving
I
anytime
think her
soon.
character is interesting. It's just that there's not enough screen time to flesh her out. Well, she doesn't get enough screen time because, again, like I
Yeah.
said, very hard to balance out all these characters. But she did get a really cool moment in this episode. Oh, we'll give him that.
Yeah, obviously with her getting speed and whatnot, I thought that was cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they end her character and maybe go with her own TV show. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess they could do that, but we'll have to wait and see. I feel like a spin-off would be great if whenever the Flash is going to end as a series.
Yeah,
But like, I don't even
yeah,
know if I want to do a
yeah,
spin-off
but
on Frost. I feel like I feel like if they have the screen time, they can flesh your character out here to the point where they don't really need a spin-off anymore. I feel like if out of all the characters in
yeah.
this show right now, if there was going to be a spin-off,
Hmm.
I don't even think they.
I think
Well, I
Frost
don't
makes the
even think
most
you can
sense.
do a spin-off because like almost every character has had considerable amount of screen time to where we know like their characters fleshed out. We don't really need a spin-off, and no one's really that. I mean, again, I guess people might be interested in like a Frost spin-off show, but like, hmm, it's that's
Yeah,
a bit weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll just have
yeah,
to see. Yeah, I get where you're coming from though, but at the same time, like Frost is, I think, is a super
yeah,
cool character. I feel like she doesn't get enough. What's the word? She does get a lot of decent amount of screen time, but like we don't know like her full extent power. Like if you just do it, maybe if this show ends, maybe you can do it in the
yeah.
future where maybe Barry's dead or the Flash is dead and like she kind of has to protect the city, or you could turn her into a bad guy or something like
Yeah,
that.
well,
I don't
okay,
know.
so I really wanted there to be like a Wally West spin-off show because he actually plays a huge part in the
Hmm.
comics, but it's like his actor is like really well, it's either A, he's really busy, or B, he doesn't really want to be with the Flash. He doesn't really want to film with the Flash anymore. So it's like I'd like that's really
Hmm.
disappointing. I mean, I understand like if the actor wants to do his own thing, that's fine, but like it's really disappointing. So like I don't really think there can be a spin-off for the Flash, to be completely honest with you.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I understand that, but I was just saying if there is likely a spinoff, it Frost makes the
Yeah.
most sense.
Speaking of spin-offs, I guess we
Yeah.
can move on to
So,
Superman Lois, which is I mean
oh my
it did
god.
start off as a spin-off to Supergirl, but now it just became its own separate thing.
Yeah. This show is
Like
phenomenal. Like we're only what, three
yeah.
episodes in or four? 3 episodes in, and this show has been phenomenal. Obviously, Captain Luther wasn't obviously in this one because they took a backseat and more focused on Ken's
Yeah.
family and whatnot. But like this, like just the family scenes
Yeah,
are
I know.
so
I
good.
think that everything about it
Like
is
I
great. The
mentioned this.
acting is great. The writing is great. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just like a synergistic relationship in
Hmm.
when it comes to just draw like
Hmm.
just acting in general. Like obviously the writing has to be there, but the performance has to carry it as well. And I think Superman Lewis found that great synergy when it comes to the. Well, I think the actors found a great synergy and all of that. You know, it come really real. It's very
Yeah.
real problems. Even though, yeah, it's a show about Superman, it focuses more on the family aspect. Like, you know, again, I think because in the season in the series premiere actually, there was like a little like after show event for Superman Lewis, and like some of the producers and writers they talked about how they took elements from Black Lightning, you know, and it was kind of like an inspiration for the show. And like, yeah, I can definitely see that, and I do like the family aspects of that show, and I do like that family aspects of this
Yeah.
show as well because like you can relate to them, you know. I did mention it. I just posted my
Yeah.
review. I think maybe like a couple hours ago now, but like yeah, some of the problems that
Hmm.
each character faces, they're very real problems. Even though, yeah, even with Superman, well,
Yeah.
because
Very
you know
real.
Clark's trying to be a father. You know, he's trying to balance out like his work.
Being
Yeah,
Superman and
obviously you
being a
can't really
father.
relate to being Superman, but you can relate to like balancing out work, being a father, and then having to deal with kids and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
it's very real problems. Now I can't really speak about that on that part, but I can see people going through
Yeah.
those hardships. It's very
Uh,
real, and that's what I really like. That's what I really like about
very
comic book
real.
stuff. Like even though like these types of entertainment are supposed to be like an escapism or like escape from reality, which makes sense. I do want to have that type of entertainment, right? That's why I play lots of video games. But
Hmm.
sometimes you can
Yeah.
have like these kind of more serious type of themes into your entertainment, and that's okay. You know, a lot of people are
Hmm.
saying, "Oh, just leave real world stuff out
Yeah,
of our entertainment." It's like, I mean, I understand that there's supposed to be,
but it
yeah,
makes
like
it
because this
better.
makes the writing better. Like, why do you think so many people like Joker? Like, these same people who like Joker are the same
Yeah,
people who, excuse me, they're the same people who are like, oh, well, like, just keep like real world stuff out of my stuff I enjoy. I just want to escape from reality and just enjoy this. But it's like, okay, how come you enjoy Joker then? How come people enjoy The Dark Knight? The Dark Knight has
yeah,
very real
exactly.
themes in there. Like just the Dark Knight trilogy in general has a lot of very real themes in them, right? So it's like, yeah, even though
Yeah,
it takes place in a
yeah.
fictional world, it still has a lot of like real world aspects in is the storytelling, right?
Yeah, like I think we knew about this show. He was going to mostly both be focused on family. We knew it wasn't going to be a Superman movie where he just
Well, that'd be cool. I mean,
fights
I
pretty
think
much the
all
whole
those
movie.
action sequences are great because the cinematography is
Yeah,
great, the special effects are great. You know, everything. I think the production of the show is just. I mean, it's great. Something that I haven't really seen from the CW ever, really.
yeah. Like I'm also enjoying like we're getting like it's not just based on like Clark Stanley. We get to see like for
Yeah.
example Sarah, kind of what generally she's going through, which I actually
I,
like
it
actually like
does
her
it
parents
does
are
seem like
arguing
she's
sort of
gonna
thing.
play like somewhat of a big role later on down the line. Maybe she's like,
Yeah,
well, because she broke up with her boyfriend in this episode, so maybe like she's probably gonna,
yeah.
get in a close
Hmm.
relationship with maybe the Kent brothers or stuff like that. You know, somewhere around there. Like
Hmm. She's probably gonna fall in love with Jordan, and then Jordan will probably maybe further down the line where he starts getting to realize like, oh yeah, my powers, I understand how to use them, or he's like tell
Yeah, I
her
feel like she's
about it.
probably. I feel like her and maybe Lana will probably realize like who the Kent family really is, you know, and like realize that, oh man,
Hmm.
my high school friend, he's Superman, you know, like because Lana, was friends with Clark, high school and all that stuff. If you watched Smallville, you'll know
Yeah,
kind of how close they are. But it's like, wow, like yeah, like my longtime friend is Superman, so
yeah. Like I'm also like I don't know if this was close to the end of the episode where a girl uses laser.
yeah, she
Is
uses,
it laser
yeah, so it's
eyes?
like
I don't know what they call
um
it.
it's really interesting. I also like the Morgan Edge. I didn't really care for it too much, the Morgan Edge stuff,
Hmm.
but like after with this,
Yeah, I
it's
didn't
just
think I would
like,
care
okay,
either.
what is he really up to? Is he like kind of is he meddling in alien affairs or stuff like that, or metahuman affairs and all that? Do we need to call the Flash and Supergirl to help out with this situation?
Yeah, I doubt it. I hope they don't know. Like Supergirl makes sense. The
Yeah,
Flash does not.
actually, well, so the Lois Lane actress, I think her name is Elizabeth Tulloch or
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She wants
yeah,
Supergirl to
mhm,
make an appearance in this show, at least, which I can see it happening because it is her
yeah,
final season. I would like to see,
yeah,
Supergirl make at least like a cameo appearance on this show.
yeah. Isn't is Supergirl? I think Supergirl's coming out next month, right?
March 30th, I think. Yeah,
So
well,
this
because
month?
okay, so
Here, I'll look it up real
if
quick.
any of you guys have not heard, I don't know if we mentioned this last week, but yeah, news came out last week that Supergirl will be premiering again. I think March 30th, somewhere on there, and will actually yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
March
take
30th, right on the
Superman and
dot.
Lois's
I
time
just looked
slot
it up.
because Superman and Lois is actually behind on production. So okay, so
Yeah,
we'll get Superman and Lois for the next 2 weeks, but after that it'll go on a hiatus because it
yeah,
hasn't caught up with its schedule. So yeah, it'll take a little
yeah,
bit of a break, and then we'll get some Supergirl. I don't know how many episodes,
yeah,
but yeah, we'll get some Supergirl, and after that, that'll be taking a break, and then we'll get back to Superman and Lois, and then after Superman and Lois is
yeah.
done, then we'll go back to Supergirl and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
it's really interesting. It's really weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really interesting how they're doing the thing. Well, because obviously Superman and Supergirl are obviously kind of similar.
Yeah,
One's a girl, one's a
but
man.
yeah,
Obviously.
I mean, I assume the hiatus definitely has to be because of COVID. that's really the only
Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
that's
that's
really
my
my
only
only guess.
guess.
But I'm curious to see why Supergirl also has to go on hiatus. I mean, I understand why Supergirl has to go on a hiatus just so that Superman and Lois could finish, but I could be wrong about
Yeah,
that. I do think that they might move Supergirl back to a different day. I'm not sure, but I know that both shows will be going on hiatus just so that they can
yeah,
finish their seasons and all that stuff, which is really weird, especially for Supergirl since this is the final season.
yeah. And I would just like to say right now, if I see another Instagram post with Lena and Supergirl, just
Well,
guys, people, we know Supergirl isn't
well,
gay.
I mean,
She's
I don't
not.
really care too much. I mean, if she is, that's fine. That's fine.
I
I'm all for that. But like, I think the reason why the writers shouldn't do that is because like the fan base. So look, okay, the Arrowverse community overall,
yeah,
it's really good. It's one of the best communities I've been in quite a while. Because like other communities like the
yeah,
Star Wars community and the Call of Duty community and even the Destiny community now, they're just really toxic people, right? But like this here, the Arrowverse community is fine,
yeah,
but like obviously there's like a fringe, like a small fringe minority that just likes to ruin things for everyone. And honestly, I think Supergirl, or just not really Supergirl, but more or less just the people who ship characters together, I think like they're probably the worst type of fans because it's like I remember in season 5, yeah, season 5 of Supergirl, um, a lot of Supercore. I think that's like the ship name for Lena and Kara. I think that's what it's called, right? Supercore. Yeah. So a lot of those
yeah,
fans
yeah. Supercore.
started sending death threats to the actors because, like, especially the actor who plays William. I think
Mhm.
that's his name, right? William. There was like a love interest for Kara.
Mhm.
I think that
Yeah.
well, a lot of people sent death threats to him because like he was a potential love interest for Kara, even though they wanted Kara to be with like Lena and stuff like that, and they also wanted to be with Monel again. So like
Yeah.
those fans actually started saying death. I remember in the 100th episode, which was last season, the 100th episode, there's like this like party with all like it was like a 100th episode party. Every show had this, so the Flash had this, Arrow had it first, obviously, but yeah, Supergirl had it last season,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I think a lot of the posts regarding to their 100th episode party type of thing, whatever, a lot of the comments were these I guess like these Supercore shippers just sending death threats to the actors and stuff like that. Which, again, that's the reason why I don't really like I don't really like ships. I don't really like the fans of these ships.
Yeah. I
I
never
think the
did.
worst was probably I think the most infamous one's probably Raylo from Star Wars. Um, 'Cause, like
Yeah.
they're like a very vocal uh group in the Star Wars community, but like yeah, the Arrowverses have their own little Raylo, which is super core. Again, it's not like I mean, it's not as bad as Raylo, but still pretty bad. Again, like I said, death threats, just no, that's just a
Yeah.
big no. So
Yeah. I hope. Yeah. Like I don't care either. Like I don't care like at all. Like, but it's just getting annoying. Like it's just weird and whatnot. But I'm obviously super excited for Supergirl to come out, obviously, and Superman and Lois. Like,
yeah,
I'm just excited for everything. This month is really good to be a superhero fan,
yeah.
just in general.
Do you have any
Like,
thoughts for Supergirl for going in before I guess we can probably elaborate. We'll probably elaborate
do I
more
have?
right before the season premiere, but I guess we can just talk a little bit about it now
Yeah.
since you just mentioned it.
Well, obviously, I'm curious to see where they go with it. Obviously, I'm excited. I don't really know what to expect. Like, I really don't. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, will Supergirl die? Will she go into the future and hang out with Marnell again? Will she? Like, I really don't know. Like, it really just the plan is. I really hope it's good. If you guys don't know, Melissa Benoist is my celebrity crush, so I'm very emotional when the show ends. So I hope. Like, I admit the last couple of seasons haven't been the best, uh, in my opinion. I just hope it's better than those two. If it has a good send off, I'll be happy. So I really have not much to say unless we get a trailer or something, which I don't even think we've
Yeah, I
got
feel, I
yet.
feel like trailer's probably gonna drop like maybe next week or maybe right before the season premieres. But yeah, nothing out. You know, we don't even have a promotional poster.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the CW PR team is just really bad this year. They haven't really been promoting Black Lightning at all. We don't
yeah,
even get episode trailers for Black Lightning anymore. The Flash barely gets any. Well, obviously we
yeah.
get
No.
episode trailers, but we only have one promotional poster for the Flash, and that's it. Um, Superman Lois gets a lot of
Yeah,
advertising. I like because at
yeah.
work we have some TVs there, and like I think it's playing like
Hmm.
I don't exactly
Hmm.
know what channel, but like while like the commercials there, the commercial breaks there, I see a lot of Superman Lois. So it's like yeah, there's a lot of advertising going on in that one, which makes
Yeah,
sense because it's a new show, and then
yeah,
Batwoman.
yeah. Like which is, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say, like, it's kind of disappointing that they're not
Yeah,
pushing all the shows. Like, it's stupid. Like, obviously, you push for like the major shows. Like, you need to start. You like for Black Lightning. It's its final season. You want people to
yeah,
watch it.
exactly. And especially since Black
Like,
Lightning is going to get the backdoor
yeah, it's
pilot
just
episode from Painkiller, so it's like they're definitely going to need the viewership for there, or
yeah,
else they might not even pick it up. But you know that's going to be what happened. It's exactly what's going to happen, like with Green Arrow and the Canaries. The show didn't get picked up because not a lot of people watched it. I know
yeah,
there's people who wanted the show to be picked up, but it's like not a lot. It wasn't
yeah.
like a huge
I was one of
viewership,
them.
so that's why it didn't go move on with that. But yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah,
I don't really know what the CW. I don't think they realize what they're doing by having very low advertising and
hmm
low marketing for these. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it that you push like Batwoman. I get that you push like Superman because even though it's a Batwoman show, it's pretty much like when people think of DC, I think I've said this millions of times, they think Superman, Batman. So if you obviously want to push for Bat anything type of Bat show,
they
Bat whatever to do
that just
well,
had me thinking of
obviously.
the very first trailer for Batwoman in season one. That was so bad. They cut like half the stuff in that trailer because it was so
Yeah.
bad. And honestly, that trailer basically killed the show because like if you go online, it's just people trashing the show, and it's like
Yeah.
honestly, like I don't blame you. Like I think Batwoman's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I think this season so far is so much better than last season.
Hmm.
But it's like I can see where people are coming
I
from why
agree.
they don't want to watch this show. And it's because of that initial trailer. It just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, right? That's
Yeah.
it's actually as a matter of fact,
Yeah,
the like to
exactly.
dislike
So
ratio on that one trailer is like it's not as bad as like say Call of Duty
mhm.
Infinite Warfare's trailer, but it's like really bad. Like there's a lot more dislikes than there are likes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just think
exactly.
the
So
PR team is not doing that good this year. I mean, it's like
um
it's a joke, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why. Like
but
I
you
just
want
don't
guys want to
understand.
know what's not a joke
But
though? Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out in but yes
what? I
yes
think
next
next
week.
week?
Yes, exactly. Yep. I still need to get my Crave subscription.
Yeah. So
Which yeah, by the way,
yeah,
guys. Okay,
I'm
so
definitely getting my
we
Crave
live in Canada.
subscription down here.
Genuinely, any Canadians who are listening to this podcast, let's
Yeah.
let you know we don't exactly have HBO Max. What we have is Crave, which Crave is actually kind of like a 3-in-1 streaming
Yeah.
service package. Where I obviously HBO Max is one of them. So yes, we both have HBO Max, but we also don't technically have HBO Max because it's not its own separate thing. But I think it's
Yeah.
like HBO Max and two other streaming services
Hmm.
put into one, which is Crave. So if you want to watch Zack Snyder's
Yeah.
Justice League, and you live in Canada, it's okay. Don't fret.
Yeah.
Just get your Crave
Yeah.
subscription. Yeah,
Mhm.
or you can watch
Just
it
get
legally too
Crave.
if you want to do that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Like yeah, if you
yeah,
want to watch it illegally, go all ahead. But
yeah,
I'm gonna watch it proper,
yeah.
so
Or
it
you
doesn't
just
cut out at any time. So
that actually no.
I
Before
kind
I
of
move
want
on,
to just
that had me thinking. There's this there's like this one meme where it's like um it was talking about like watching like or was like pirating movies and stuff like that, and like it was just like um
yeah.
it's like you want to download a car, and it's like that's always like that one thing that I always think of that. whenever I think of like pirating movies and stuff like that, I always think of that
Yeah.
commercial. It's like you went and
Hmm.
steal a car, and it was like that one. It was like a very like it's a really old commercial. Well, not really old, but it was a pretty old commercial. It's like internet privacy, piracy and stuff like that. It's like you want to download a
Yeah.
car like and all that stuff. Sorry, I just wanted to put that out there because that's what I thought of first.
Yeah. So this month is really good for superhero fans. I think I told you this off the podcast, but you have the Snyder
Or
Cut coming out
yeah,
next week, and then you
yeah,
have
the next
obviously
day. But
Falcon
yeah, literally
and
next
Winter
day.
Soldier, which is the next day, which is super 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 excited. So I would just like to say to all of you Marvel fanboys that's going to say that this movie is going to
Well,
be
I don't think it's
exactly like
Marvel
the first
fanboys.
one.
It's just people doubting this movie,
Mm,
which I think is like calling it the Snyder Cut. Because
which is
calling it the
insane to
Snyder
me.
Cut basically implies that it is basically the same movie, but just like there's like more stuff to it. That's usually how director's cuts work, right? But this isn't really a director's cut anymore. It's a completely
Yeah,
separate
I get
movie.
that. Yeah, like if you've seen the trailer, Darkseid
Yeah, I
looks
just have the
scary.
problem that like he might. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, he's a ripoff Thanos," even though he actually came right before. Actually in comics, Thanos was heavily inspired off of Darkseid. But yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure though. I'm pretty sure because movies are now more mainstream.
yeah,
People are going to be like, "Oh, why is Darkseid a ripoff of
yeah.
Thanos?" and all that stuff. But yeah.
Hey, listen, people. If you don't know, there's a YouTube channel that does like theme battles. They did Darkseid versus Thanos. Darkseid wins
But doesn't
every
Thanos
time.
have the Infinity
Just
Gauntlet?
saying.
Or like, how did
Okay,
Thanos do?
I he doesn't. I feel Darkseid is just way too powerful. I think he could still beat Thanos with the gauntlet, but that's maybe one podcast will debate who would win between these two people or something like that. But I just kind of want to touch up on the Snyder Cut things. Like the trailers so far have been phenomenal. Obviously, the
Yeah.
Joker looks a lot better
I think it's gonna be rated
in
R. I think we already
this
mentioned that. It
one.
was gonna be
Like
rated
not even
R.
close.
I still don't know how I feel about that because I feel like it might be a little
Yeah,
bit too much. But I don't know. We never know. It's a 4 hour long movie. Never know what we're gonna find there.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, Superman's in his black suit, which I think Superman in this one is. I feel like a lot of. I don't know if everyone's gonna die, but I feel like Superman makes the most sense to die. If that makes sense, I think he will probably die again. If I had to guess, but that's just a guess, obviously. But also, the trailers have been looking phenomenal. Wonder Woman fighting that one dude just looks phenomenal. Like Joker looks phenomenal. Batman, everything about it like looks phenomenal. Like I don't think I don't obviously I'm not gonna say, but I think if this is done right, I am hoping it could be better
I
than one of the Avengers movies. At least one.
Maybe Age of Ultron. Yeah, I was about to
At
say,
least over Age
but
of
like
Ultron.
I don't know because this is also Zack Snyder and like Zack Snyder's work. He's not okay.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I said this on the podcast, but Zack Snyder, he's a great and this isn't
Mhm.
me hating on Zack Snyder. I like his work, but like he's a great visual director. Like I think the cinematography in his movies is great. Like look at 300.
Yeah.
The cinematography in that movie is great. But
Mhm.
like when you look at as a creative director and as like in terms of like narratives and stuff like that and the writing, I I don't think he's that good. Like watch like the Watchmen movie as like we can debate whether or not the Watchmen movie is a good adaptation, but it was an okay of a movie. Like the writing was just eh. It was kind of iffy in some places too,
Yeah.
but like the writing was eh. And then like
Mhm.
like honestly, I think the one movie
Yeah.
I think probably my favorite Zack Snyder movie that has, in my opinion, the best writing is Man of Steel, and that's because like he
Yeah.
took a different approach to the character of Superman, and it did work out. Well, it will work for a lot of people. I also really like Superman, but I prefer the more grounded like Superman, from Smallville and stuff like that. But yeah, like I did
Mhm.
like his interpretation of Superman. It's just that like You know, uh, again, like I said, he's not exactly the greatest creative director. Again, like I said, in terms of visuals, he's like off the charts. He's like one of the best. He's basically like Christopher Nolan. Actually, he's friends with Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan kind of like is a huge inspiration for Zack Snyder in a way. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I think this movie will do good. I don't, like you said, we don't know. It's the Snyder cut. I'm hoping it does well. I'm super excited to see this movie. I am hoping because like in the beginning the fight scenes are insane. Like you see a Green Lantern dude in the air fighting stuff. Like I'm curious to see, are they going to add maybe a random
well, it's
Green
a shame that
Lantern
there's not
or
gonna
something
that
like
the
that?
Snyder cut. I
Like I
don't think
doubt
will
they
be
will.
canon in the DCEU unless like maybe in Flashpoint they change that so the Snyder cut is canon. I honestly hope that happens because in the solo Flash
Yeah.
movie, that technically is Flashpoint, right? So it's gonna have a lot of Flashpoint elements and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that like in Flashpoint they make the Snyder cut canon. You know, so like maybe Superman is back with like he
Mhm.
continues using the black suit and stuff like that, and then like whatever happens in Snyder cut,
Yeah.
is actually gonna be have lots of major consequences in the upcoming DCEU movies and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah. I think this movie will do well. It's pretty much the first, well, obviously second one because it's the first one obviously and whatnot. So I think this is like the first like actual like Justice League movie, if that makes sense, because they're facing obviously the main guy. Because in the Avengers, obviously they fought many guys, but the main thing was Thanos, obviously. So this is like Justice League pretty much skipping
Yeah,
everything
that's why
else
I'm
and
not
pretty
a
much
huge
just
fan
going
of
to
the
the main guy.
DCEU. They rushed. They tried being like the DCU is
Yeah,
basically the product of Warner Brothers trying to be
they
like
tried being
Marvel and
Marvel.
Disney, but it failed. Arrowverse is like still, even though the Arrowverse is kind of on the back burner right now,
Yeah.
because like I mean I like look, we just talked about how these shows are kind of great, right? Well, not great, but like they're getting there, right? I think Superman Lewis is great, but like the Arrowverse as a
Yeah.
whole is just so much better than DCEU. It's more consistent. They actually took their time, right?
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
though a lot of people are like, oh, well, it took the Marvel approach, it
Hmm.
still tried being its own little thing, right? It's not like DCEU where
Yeah.
it tried so hard to be like Marvel.
Yeah, that was their mistake. They just rushed to be like Marvel. Like they didn't do any singles movies for any of the characters, like at all. They kind of just went, "Oh yeah, Batman v Superman," which
Yeah,
in the comics is a huge deal. They
yeah,
put that out way too quick, in my opinion. They need to build up both. They need to build obviously Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman obviously was already built up from all the movies before, but we never really saw Ben
yeah,
Affleck as Batman before. Like there was a rumor that it was going to be a movie, and I don't know, some actors saying it was supposed to be one of the darkest superhero movies ever.
Wait, who
It was a
said that?
rumor, but like we said, I don't know. I think, if I remember correctly, the dude that plays Deathstroke in this Snyder cut was the
He
guy. He was
says
supposed
like
to be in
Snyder
that
Cut's like
movie.
really dark. Interesting.
I don't know who
Well,
it was
again,
though.
it is rated R, so it's not going to be a lighthearted movie.
No, I wasn't
Oh,
talking about the Snyder cut. I was talking about that Ben
oh,
Affleck was
I
supposed to have
see.
his
Yeah,
own
yeah, yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
I
I
think one of the
understand.
main
Yeah,
villains was Deathstroke. And one of those things. But I'm hoping the movie's good. I think it will be good. I If it flops, it flops. It is what it is. It's
yeah.
just DC, I guess. Like I have not much else to
But
say about that.
yeah, I mean, I, for me, I don't really. I mean, my expectations I wouldn't say are high, but I just want to enjoy it. That's all.
Yeah,
I don't really, and I'm hoping that does well.
yeah.
So
I just
maybe
want
it
to
can
enjoy
change
it.
the DCEU moving forward. But yeah, that's all. I don't really have a lot of things to say other than I
Yeah, I
guess
hope
I'm
so.
excited. But yeah, I don't really have like I'm not really in depth
Yeah,
as much as
obviously.
you are. But
Yeah, and I'll talk to you afterwards, but we need to try to get where our friends can all watch it.
Yeah, with all
I'll
this
try to figure out a
stuff,
way.
with all the restrictions going on, I don't know if we can, but yeah, hopefully we can have some sort of like watch
Yeah,
party.
yeah. We'll
Yeah,
talk later. I
but
think I can figure something out. Okay.
speaking of things that I am kind of I know a lot about. I guess we'll move on to Star Wars. We're going to continue our series of, I guess, reviewing the Skywalker. Oh, well, not really the Skywalker saga because we're also gonna be reviewing Solo and Rogue One and all that stuff, Clone Wars and all that. But
Yeah,
yeah, last week, or I guess the last episode we did, Empire Strikes Back. Guess we'll be capping off the original trilogy with Return of the Jedi. I
yeah,
rewatched this movie at like 2 in the morning last night.
yeah. Funny story. So I was watching.
You
It
didn't watch
wasn't the
Return of the
Return
Jedi?
of the Jedi. I was so confused. No, I did watch Return of the
What did you
Jedi
watch?
afterwards. I You're gonna judge me so hard. You were gonna judge me so hard. I started
Why?
watching The Rise of the
Why?
Skywalker and didn't realize. I was so confused. I'm like, I
Do you
remember
not
Ray
remember?
coming in
Okay,
this
so it's
early.
like, so you watched Empire Strikes Back, and then you watch Rise of Skywalker. Didn't you think to yourself, "Hey, Leia's like 50 years older. What happened to that?"
I listen, man. I had a brain fart. Then I looked back at the DMs you sent me. I'm like, oh my god, I'm halfway through this goddamn movie and I have to
Well, I
switch.
mean, I guess that's a mistake that people would make if they're not, if they don't know their Star Wars stuff. But yeah, that's.
Oh, I
Well, what's
felt
funny
so
too,
dumb.
because actually in my room, I actually have a Return of the Jedi poster, and right next to it is Rise of Skywalker. So I wonder if you went in my room, if you ever had a chance to go into my room, I'm pretty sure you'll be a little bit confused.
Yeah, but
Okay, that's good.
I
Or else
finished
I don't
Return
think
of the
we'll be able to do
Jedi.
this segment at all, and we'll just end the podcast here.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
but no, I finished it. I think I enjoyed Return of the Jedi better
Yeah.
than the last one, Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back. Was that the last one we did? I think I liked Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi
Return of the
more,
Jedi is
in
one of
my
my favorite
opinion.
Star Wars movies. Do I think it's the best? No. I think Empire Strikes Back is
Yeah,
still the best of the original trilogy. I think it's still one of the best Star Wars movies, but I think Return of the Jedi is yeah, it's up there. I think okay, so
it's
the
up
first
there.
30 minutes with I guess Act 1 with the whole Jabba's palace, that was all right. It was a little boring, but it was all right. I did like
Yep.
Luke Skywalker's character and all that stuff. I think Luke is
Yeah.
like probably the best part of this movie. And then the second act, I
Yeah.
think yeah, the second
I agree.
act, I
Luke was
think with
phenomenal in this
Luke
movie.
going, I think again, just Luke's character is great. I really like, I again, the Dagobah scenes were really
Yeah.
short, but I did enjoy those scenes, even though there wasn't really much going on. The reason why I enjoyed it is because it's like
Hmm.
all the stuff that happened in
Yeah.
both A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. It all comes together here, and Luke finally confronts the truths that he's learned throughout the past two movies, and it's like, well, why didn't you tell me? Or
Yeah.
like, am I done my training and stuff like that? It's like you can really see his character progressing. It's like he as he learns the truth, he becomes more kind of compassionate because it's like he's like because we really see like, and
Yeah.
this is kind of setting up how the Jedi act in the prequels. It's like you see Obi-Wan and Yoda, they were very arrogant that like, well, not arrogant, but they're kind of like, yeah, there's no hope for Vader. Like you can't turn him back. Like, your father's gone. Like he's gone. He's dead,
Yeah.
right? But Luke's is like, like, no, like, come on, man, I can bring him
Yeah.
back. And it's like we really see that character progression, and
Yeah.
I really like that. And again, like I said, Luke is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I don't really like. It's like one of those things where in the original trilogy, I
Hmm.
like all the characters, but I think Luke is by far my favorite. Well, Luke, Han, Leia, Lando, everyone. I just like everyone, but Luke's characters, I think his
Hmm.
arc is the best, and it's just because
Yeah.
of the character progression. Again, like I said,
Yeah.
we see kind of how the learner now, he's kind of started questioning the master's type of ways and all that stuff. It's like, why would you think that, or why would you have me do this and do that when
Yeah.
before I just blindly go with you. It'd be like, because I thought like you were like some sort of all knowing space wizard and all that stuff. But once I started learning more,
Yeah.
kind of going off in the galaxy, doing my own thing. It's like, well, yeah, what you guys kind of told me is a little bit of
Hmm.
BS. So I do like that character progression.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, but
Obviously, the goat Jar
we
Jar
got the
hasn't appeared
Ewoks,
yet,
which I know a lot of
as we
people
all
hated the
know.
Ewoks. I didn't mind. I thought what?
Yep. How do you hate the
Well,
Ewoks?
when the movie
How
first
do you
came
hate
out, a
the
lot of
Ewoks?
people really hated
How do
the
you hate
Ewoks.
the Ewoks?
The Ewoks now, I think they're still all right. I don't really have any problems with them. I think I think the third act, just in general, in my opinion, is one of the strongest in the entire saga. I think the third acts in this movie, Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
are the best. You'll like once we get to those movies, you'll probably understand why. But yeah, the third act in this movie is really good. I think the space battle
Yeah.
this space battle here is the best. I
Yeah.
think it's better than the one in Rise of Skywalker because the space battle Rise of Skywalker makes literally no sense. Like I enjoy that movie. Yeah, I enjoy that movie,
I
but
can't agree or disagree with you
like
yet
it makes
because I
zero
haven't watched
sense.
them
But
all.
this one here, I think it's great. Like I really like, I guess kind of just the visuals of it, really. And then the Battle of Endor. I know a lot of people have problems with it,
Yeah.
but uh,
Yeah, oh,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it
I
kind
enjoyed it.
of is. It's mirroring those types of like historic battles between the natives and then like I guess like European invaders and stuff like that. That's what that kind of reminded me of. And I didn't
Yeah.
mind it. It was fine. So it's a little bit on the campy side, but I don't mind it. And I guess a lot of people had problems with
Yeah.
the stormtrooper armor being kind of useless because apparently rocks and sticks can kill a stormtrooper. But then again, I think the Mandalorian season 2 kind of changed that because we had that one scene with Boba Fett he's just going
Yeah.
nuts on those stormtroopers. With his stick, and it's like, yeah, they really
Yeah.
are useless. So it's like, well, I guess it is in Star Wars lore now. The stormtrooper armor
Yeah.
is like literally the same as just cardboard.
Yeah. I feel like I would, if they made Star Wars where the stormtroopers actually hit the
Well, because
people, I
like
would
then like
enjoy it
I
so
guess
much
like
more.
some of the heroes might
My
die or something
goodness.
like that, or
Well, not in that aspect, but just makes it look like,
oh
oh
yeah,
my god, these guys
yeah.
are actually
I
trained.
will admit, yeah, the
Looks like
stormtroopers they're kind of
6-year-olds going out
laughing
there and shooting.
stocks. Yeah, like clone troopers, like you'll once we get to the
Yeah,
prequels, like the clone
like
troopers are just a million times better. They really are.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so far this whole entire Star
Yeah.
Wars saga thing I have been enjoying so far. I think I've
Yeah,
liked
I
every
guess
single
since we
movies,
finished the
all
original
of them
trilogy, you want to do
so
like a mini
far.
ranking?
Like
You want to like kind of yeah, between the original trilogy. We'll do this
like
for each
the
trilogy,
between
by
the
the way,
three.
Des. But yeah, you want to do like your original trilogy ranking?
Oh, okay. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
have Return of the Jedi number one, Empire
A
Strikes
New
Back
Hope.
number two, and then I forget what was the
Yeah,
last one
that's
called,
exactly my
and New
list
Hope
too. Although
last.
all these movies are great. Okay, and I don't think any of them are
Yeah,
bad, but like, yeah,
yeah.
like I
All
think
these
that's
movies are
also my
great.
rating too. I think regional trilogy is my, or not regional trilogy. I think Return of the Jedi is my favorite, is because of the third act. Honestly, the third act carries the entire movie.
Yeah,
Again, the second act's not bad, but like, yeah, the first act was a little bit boring. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the
hmm
Jedi, like they're close,
yeah, like I
but at the
think
same time they're
the third
not.
act,
If
like
that makes
obviously this
sense.
movie has the best. Well, Return of the Jedi has the best third act. The best second act probably has to go to Empire, just because of all the Dagobah scenes and stuff like that. Even though they're a bit slower, it was really good.
Yeah,
And the first
yeah.
act, um, hmm, it's
Hmm.
close. It's either Empire or A New Hope. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree
I
with you
also
on that
really,
one.
I think, like, I know Palpatine wasn't that great in this movie, just because we didn't really know a lot about him. I feel like, yeah, I think
Hmm.
because George Lucas did
Yeah,
say that, you know, the entire Star Wars saga was supposed to be watched from episodes 1 all the way up to 6, rather than 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, production order. So I feel like if I did watch this in like chronological order, I feel like I'll like the Emperor more in this movie. Again, I like the Emperor, but I feel like I'll like him more in this movie if I watched it in chronological
yeah,
order than I did with production orders, just because like again, like I said, we don't really know a lot about him. He's just like your stereotypical evil mustache twirling supervillain, right? But like, yeah, obviously there's a lot
Yeah.
more in depth with this character in the prequels, but yeah, we'll get into that. We talk a lot about the prequels. We're going to be getting the prequels next week. We'll first start off with
Yeah.
Phantom Menace, and then we'll just make our way there. But yeah, any final thoughts on you?
Yeah.
Sorry, you can
Yeah.
go on.
And I would just like to say, and obviously when the newer stuff comes out from Star Wars, because there's like the Ahsoka show, like all those types of things, we'll be reviewing that probably when the time comes. But yeah, this movie was really good. Like I enjoyed, like I feel like all the
Yeah,
actors in
exactly.
there just work so
Yeah.
well with each other. That might be just me.
No, obviously
Like
the
it was
acting
just
isn't.
great,
Yeah, obviously
like
the
all
acting
around.
isn't
Like Han
exactly the
Solo's Han
greatest because it
Solo.
is the '80s, but like it still holds up. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but for the
Yeah,
'80s,
I've
this is
I've seen
pretty
better
good.
acting.
Like you must admit, for the
Well,
'80s,
I
this
mean,
is pretty
this
good.
this here it has better acting than other '80s shows.
Yeah, exactly. Like I enjoyed this. Like so
Yeah.
far, this is probably my favorite Star Wars movie so far.
Well, you
To be
actually
honest,
watched
I've
The
only
Rise of
watched a couple,
Skywalker.
so we'll have to see in the future.
Just the first half.
I watched the
Did,
first
did
half.
you did you
Okay,
stop
calm
and
down.
realize? Did you like text me while
Just
you're
the first
watching the
half.
movie and like, hey, am I watching the right one?
No, I was just realizing. I'm like, I don't. I swear, I don't
Was it
remember way
each movie
being
is
this
numbered?
early.
There's 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, then 7, 8, 9. Did you not realize that?
Yeah,
Were you drunk while
listen,
you
man.
watched
Listen,
it?
listen. Don't expose me. Listen, I just didn't realize. I remember it was like something, the rise of something, or something like that. But
Okay.
then I looked at my phone. I'm like,
Okay.
wait, it's the
Well,
Return
I
of the
guess you
Jedi. Well,
won't
I
live.
effed
I
up.
guess I won't let you live that down now.
But please, I beg, don't put in when you post this on Instagram. Do not post. Oh yeah,
You never know.
Brennan
You
thought
never know
this
what I
movie
might
was
write
that.
down there.
Don't do that, please.
But yeah,
I
final
mean,
thoughts on
fair
Return of
enough.
the Jedi?
But yeah, it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
It's my favorite
Again,
Star
like I
Wars
said, I
movie
don't
so
think
far,
this is the
hands down.
best
It's
Star
not
Wars
even
movie
close.
ever, but I think this is one of my favorites for sure. I know I have a friend. So
Yeah,
before I end this,
yeah.
I had a
This.
friend. I think it was like just almost a year. Oh, it was over a year now, slightly over a year now. I one of my friends had a kind of Star Wars presentation. So it's like because he was reviewing
Mhm.
each Star Wars movie. I put this on my personal Instagram. I he, yeah, and
Oh
he
my god,
really
I remember
hates
this. This was
Return of the
phenomenal.
Jedi, and like he's still my friend, obviously, but I'm not gonna like send hate down his way. But like, yeah, I really disagreed with him on there. But like, yeah, Return of the Jedi is one of my favorites. But like, yeah, uh,
Oh, it was
I
so
know a lot of
funny.
people don't really like this movie just because of the Ewok stuff,
Hmm.
and obviously, like the first act, to be fair, was kind of boring, right? I mean, but again, it was cool to see Luke Skywalker just like with the
Yeah,
lightsaber and all that stuff. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I can see why people didn't really like this movie. But
yeah.
it's good campy movie. That's all I can say. But
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, I think it's still. I think the writing's
Yeah,
pretty
I
good. I
agree
think
with you.
again, like I said, Luke's character is probably the best. Everything that Luke does in this movie is just really good. So yeah, it just yeah.
Yeah,
Final thoughts for me. I think this has always been my favorite Star Wars movie. I think like Empire and Revenge of the Sith has been slowly creeping up there. So it's like they're kind of in like a three-way lock for my favorite Star Wars movie. But yeah, yeah. I guess like we're gonna go over all the movies. Maybe I'll decide which one's like my favorite. But uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Once
I'll take
we're
a
done all
while.
the Star Wars movies, which
But
will
yeah,
take a
that will
while,
be
but
all for today. Make sure you go check out our Instagram account. Maybe I'll write a little diss on Brennan for watching the wrong movie. But yeah, make sure you check out our account. I post a lot of reviews there. So if you want to just read what we basically talk about here, is because again, like I said, we do review each DC and CW or DC and Star Wars show. But if you want more in-depth look, you can always read my reviews and stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah, anyways, that'll be all for today, and we'll see you next week.
yeah.